Looks like Timaeus isn't here today. Customers? Oh, pardon me. Are you looking for Timaeus? No, just strange for him to not be around. Paimon always sees him standing here. I see. He was called away by Albedo a little while ago. I was called over to attend to the store. I'm Sucrose, Albedo's assistant. If you have any alchemy-related queries, you could always ask me. I do my best to help. Huh? Do I look nervous? My apologies. I don't get out too often. I'm usually in the laboratory where there aren't many others to talk to. If you need any help, just call my name. If not, I'll be reading a book. Over there. Thanks. No worries. We're all clued up on the basics of alchemy, aren't we? Hey, aren't you the legendary traveler? The one who repelled Storm Terror? I've heard so many stories about you. Always wanted an opportunity to research you up close. What do you mean, research? Sorry, don't mind me. What am I saying? Still, you'd definitely be able to help Albedo. It is you, after all. There's that name again! Albedo! Is he also an alchemist in Mondstadt? Apologies. I never introduced him. Albedo is the Knights of Favonia's chief alchemist. He's also Timaeus and my teacher. But Paimon's only ever seen Timaeus teaching alchemy. So that means Albedo is a teacher? Yes. He's dedicated himself to investigating the truth of this world, and has made many an important breakthrough. We often get alchemists coming to Mondstadt from all over Teyvat, seeking his help. They say that the subtlest of guidance from Mr. Albedo helps him to solve the most unfathomable of problems. Wow! Paimon didn't know he was such a big deal! Still, it seems that he's encountered a problem in his research recently. Every time I see him, he has a concerned look on his face. I'm sure that Albedo would love to hear about your incredible exploits. I know it would bring him lots of new inspiration. Albedo is a true gentleman. He'll be sure to pay you back in equal measure for helping him out. I don't see why not. Testing the limits of living beings' capabilities is one of Albedo's areas of research, after all. Albedo and Timaeus will be conducting research in the mountains right now. I'd love to take you both to see him, but somebody has to attend to the store. I'm afraid you'll have to go to the entrance to the pass and look for him by yourselves. Look out for a refined gentleman with the presence of a true scholar. And... sorry. That's the best I can do. You'll have to do your best. Hey, stop worrying. We got this.
All of Teyvat.
Sucrose is a whole lot less nervous once she gets talking about alchemy and research, huh? Is that what all researchers are like? Anyway, let's go and look for Albedo.
Sister Rosaria! So here you are! Choir practice is about to...
I've told you already, I don't go in for that kind of thing. I've got more important matters to attend to.
Oh, but this event has commemorative significance. The church hopes that all sisters will be present.
Hopes? That's odd, 'cause I don't recall a fulfill the hopes of others clause in my job description.
I mean, sure, but...
But what? You're the event organizer, aren't you? Do you not find it the least bit odd?
What do you mean?
This far out from Mondstadt at this hour? Even if you set out right now, I'll wager you'd still miss the opening ceremony. Who knows? Maybe this is someone's grand plan to make a fool out of you.
Huh? Well, that can't be. People aren't like that.
Evidence decides what people are like, not your feelings. Maybe you're a little too trusting of other people. Don't fret, nobody's gonna blame you if you go back empty-handed. I can't imagine anyone else was delusional enough to think I was gonna show up. But if you dally any longer, you really won't make it.
You're right. It's a very important commemorative event. If I'm late, then... right, I've gotta get going.
Seems like that nun's an expert in making people believe anything she wants.
I thought I heard something. Who are you and why are you eavesdropping?
We'd better watch out. She seems like a dangerous villain, or a trickster at best.
Oh, really? I'm a member of the long-standing Favonius Church. You're an eavesdropping pixie from who knows where, and you think I'm the trickster?
Wait, she heard that? But Paimon was whispering so quietly.
And as for this outlander you seem to be following... So it's you. The honorary knight that saved us from storm terror. Well then, given your status, I won't press you on your reasons for eavesdropping. Otherwise, depending on your answer, I could have arrested you on the spot.
What? Do the nuns of Mondstadt have the authority to arrest people now?
We can't go turning a blind eye to hidden dangers, can we? Why shouldn't sisters have a sense of justice?
That doesn't sound right. But Paimon can't think of a good comeback.
Let's talk about you. What are you doing in the mountains? If it's him you're after, I made a point of noting his tracks. Many people have made their way up after the snowstorm. Let's hope they're still there.
So, are you also looking for him?
No, this is just a professional habit of mine. I sensed elemental traces in these tracks. Never hurts to be vigilant. I couldn't care what you think. Come on then. I'd like to see what he's up to anyway.
Rosaria said there were elemental traces in the tracks. They should show up pretty clearly with elemental sight. Is that Albedo? Why would he hang around a place like this?
The word on the street is he loves sketching. He'll hang around anywhere for a good landscape. The views and scenery here are pretty good. Sketches everywhere you look.
But can't he see those hilichurls? Isn't he in danger? Uh-oh. Looks like we startled them. Enough talk. Let's take them out of the picture first.
Retribution! Who are you? Why did you alarm them? Thank the gods I'd already completed my sketch. Would have been a shame to leave these particular hilichurls unfinished.
What's up with sketching hilichurls? What makes them so interesting?
I'm afraid the answer isn't easy to explain. If you'd like to have a look at my sketch, it may give you a clue.
Wow! Look at the detail! But some of it seems to have been done in a hurry.
You can find these hilichurls anywhere. Quite boring, in fact. Not worth closer inspection. But take a look at this specimen. The build, the coat, and there's a distinct force at work here. In the cyclical lives of such primitive communities, such unique attributes are an indication of evolution at work. Evolution, the transition from nothing into existence, from the known to the
Hold your horses. Something tells me we're in for a thesis and I haven't got the stamina. We found your man. I'm headed back.
What? Don't you have any questions for him? Hey! What a weirdo.
So Sister Rosaria brought you. Surprising. And I didn't have time to thank her. But back to the point. From her words, it seems that you were looking for me?
Mm-hmm. We met a girl in Mondstadt, Sucrose. She said you were stuck with your research.
I see. So Sucrose sent you here. Then, if I'm not mistaken, you must be the honorary knight. You've got the whole of Mondstadt talking. I've heard a bit of everything. Your actions during Storm Terror's attack, your elemental control, and quite a few other mysterious things. I'll skip to the conclusion. There's only one possibility after all. You came from afar. From another world, correct? Excellent. If I could procure your assistance, I think my research would benefit enormously. Forgive me. This must be confusing. Where should I begin? The essence of life?
Whoa! You want to start with that?
You're right. Giving a demonstration would be better than trying to explain. For example, awakening life. Breathing new life into fallen leaves.
You can do that?
However, I have a particular seed in my possession. The method I'm talking about has produced no results. It's like you, in that it hails from another world, helping it to grow, to bloom. That's the problem my research is up against. That's where I need your assistance.
Well, if you're struggling to figure it out, Paimon's not sure we're gonna be much assistance.
I beg to differ. I'm unable to comprehend the intricacies of life outside of the known world. But you're not from the known world. By observing and researching you, I may just be able to find a way to get the seed to sprout.
Shall we just get out of here? This sounds a little freaky.
It's possible. But I will do everything in my control to ensure your safety. Time for a change of surroundings. We should be going. There's research to do.
Albedo and that traveler seem to have hit it off. Takes a weirdo to know one, I guess. I wonder, does this constitute a risk to Mondstadt?
Paimon has a question. After the seed sprouts, will it grow into anything?
I don't know. But I feel the importance will lie in the method, not the endpoint. Using alchemy to awaken otherworldly life into that would constitute a big leap in my understanding of the essence of life. After awakening, even creation may be possible. Still a little difficult to understand?
No! Paimon's got a brain! But what's the seed gonna become? Isn't that more interesting than whatever it was you were saying?
Well, if it turns out to be a delicious fruit, dinner's on me.
Yay! Paimon's holding you to it.
Well, let's just say I, occasionally have to look after a child. Another lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. I suppose it's one of the few non-alchemy-related disciplines I'm any good at. The subject of my first research was the elements. In this world, manipulating the elements requires a vision. Though I can't see anything resembling one on your person, how you're able to freely manipulate elemental power is something I'd like to ascertain. I've got a few questions in that regard. Firstly, do you have any extra organs? A second heart? A fourth stomach? Things of that nature. Fascinating. And this floating child is connected to your body in some way?
stupid question. Can't you see the gap between us? And another thing, it's Paimon, not floating child.
I was merely considering the possibility that you were an external organ. Perhaps there is some invisible force connecting you. Oh, that rules out that possibility. I wonder, did Paimon guide the elemental power to you? But that would mean that Paimon's elemental power would be enough to break through a mountain rock at least 10 meters thick, or cause the waterfall south of Springfield to flow backwards. No, that definitely can't be it.
Hey, how would you know anyway?
In that case, it would appear that there's no obvious difference between the composition of your body and that of the humans in this world. Given that there's clearly a discrepancy in their research, it seems that only experimentation will yield the answers. Firstly, this mysterious elemental power. I'd like to examine exactly how it manifests externally. Let me lure a few slimes to the area. Perhaps you'd be able to defeat them, using whatever method comes most naturally to you.
Huh? Doesn't seem very sciencey.
Direct and clear observation are imperative to a good experiment. This is just a simple exercise. Naturally, if you require a greater challenge, we could bring in 6 Oceanids.
Slimes! Slimes are fine!
Well, prepare yourself. The slimes will be here any moment. Great work. Did you feel anything out of the ordinary? If you're injured, I have a few emergency potions ready. Excellent. According to my observations, the manifestation of the external elemental flow is as expected. Elemental reactions are normal. There's nothing out of the ordinary. Now that we know that the external flow is manifesting normally, let's test the internal flow.
Internal flow? How do you test that?
It's very simple. I can use alchemy to create a potion that will extract elemental power. If the elemental power is stored or accumulated physically within your body, this potion may elicit an elemental reaction.
Sounds kinda terrifying.
Don't worry. In the normal course of events, you'd feel some temporary queasiness. No bodily injury.
And in the abnormal course of events?
If anything unexpected occurs, I've made the necessary preparations. Try not to worry. Well, it's not that there aren't any risks involved. But if there is anything blocking your elemental flow, we'll be able to locate it with this test. Just a warning. If an internal elemental reaction occurs for any other reason, that's a bad sign. Yes, that's an excellent way to think about it. Before we get started, the potion we'll use for the test is missing a catalyst. We'll need to find it. It's a type of ore known as star silver, but unfortunately not all of it is suitable. I'll take you to my campsite. We can gather some star silver ore on the way. I'll point out any likely contenders. All going to plan, we should be able to begin concocting the potion when we get to the campsite.
Paimon's still got a few safety concerns, but It seems like there's a silver lining. Let's keep our eyes open.
This is my campsite. I've added the materials we collected to the concoction. While we are waiting, have a look over here. My assistant Timaeus here is helping me with my research. I'm guessing you may have met in Mondstadt already.
Hello! I've just gotten hold of the data from your experiment. The report is already up on the board there.
Whoa! Look at all the data! You got all these results from one slime battle?
I wouldn't call them results, inferences, and a few daring guesses perhaps. I think the most rational direction would be to expound on the phylogenetic relationship between this traveler and the slimes. Consider. You don't have a vision, but you can manipulate elemental energy. The slimes don't have visions either, yet they too are able to manipulate the elements. Following this line of thought, I'm sure we'll be able to establish a basis in fact.
Not bad for a point of entry. But strictly speaking, slimes are elemental life forms. In other words, beings consisting entirely of the elements. A cryoregisvine, or even a whopperflower might be a better analogy. But tracing back the phylogenetic relationships between plants and animals, you might have to trace back to the world's origins. In that sense, things might get difficult, don't you think?
Yes, sir. That sounds correct.
After all, we've got our primary data already. This traveler is a visitor from another world. If it turned out that he did have a phylogenetic relationship with this world... Now that really would be something, wouldn't it?
Ah, it would. Apologies. I was so excited to get the data. I'll slow down a bit next time. Speaking of data, to complete our research, we'll need some more. I'll be conducting analysis here for the time being. If you're keen for an update, just come and find me.
Great, I'll leave you to it. Looks like the potion's ready. I'll try a little first. If all goes well, I'll hand it over to you.
Tasty? You've got a funny look on your face. You said you tried some already. You sure it was ready? What happened to him?
Oh, this was the result I was expecting. And a very positive one at that. This potion channels elemental power into the body. Under normal circumstances, a repelling reaction is to be expected. But if the internal elemental flow is unimpeded, you'll only experience momentary discomfort. Once the flow is complete, there won't be any other effects.
So you knew you'd be sick and still drank some?
It was my own concoction, of course. Only natural for me to be the guinea pig. Perhaps it's just scholarly self-assurance, and it certainly speeds things up. In conclusion, I'd say we have our conclusion. As far as elemental energy is concerned, you're no different from anyone else in this world. Nothing peculiar.
Aw, Paimon wanted something cooler to happen.
Then again, better an ordinary result than a peculiar result. Peculiar results have a tendency to be of the undesirable variety. The good thing about ordinary is that everything is an object of reference, and everyone understands you. People are the same, they can understand, empathize, encourage, and support one another. When you're sick, a doctor can diagnose you because they are you. When something goes wrong, you can ask people who've made the same mistake for their experience because you are them. But a peculiar person, they don't have much recourse for the things we take for granted. The essence of their life is fundamentally different. For example, a human can't understand the life of a pyroregisvine or an eye of the storm. Have I explained it clearly enough? To sum up, this has been a positive outcome. Going forward, you can use your elemental power without fear. Timaeus, the results of the new experiment are out. If you could see to collating them.
Just a moment, sir. I'll handle it. Oh, you gave me a lot to consider. Really stretched my limits. I'm thinking a lot clearer now. Oh, having you down as an animal wasn't very precise of me, but starting with the premise of an elemental life form, now that was...
Not bad. I think it's an interesting line of inquiry. Whatever the truth of the matter, I'd like your research at the fore as opposed to my judgment.
You can count on me, sir. I'll extract a result satisfactory to all.
Is he trying to join the Knights? He's starting to sound like a suck-up. What Paimon meant to say was, that's the spirit! Mr. Albedo, say something!
Before we can proceed with our research, I need to... prepare something. Wait one moment. If you're interested, why not have a look around? It may help to pass the time. I'm back. Did you see anything interesting? Not to worry. They're all for alchemical purposes. You'd be hard-pressed to find an everyday use for them. Well, on with the research. There may be significant differences between different worlds. Take Tevat, for example. Here, those with visions can manipulate the elements. But worlds may well exist where only one person is able to do so. Or even everyone. So, leaving elements to one side, do you possess any... unique abilities? Ones that don't exist in this world? I think answering this question calls for the same methodology as last time. In other words, time for the next experiment. No. You shan't be required to exert quite so much effort this time around. Now, see this pillar here? Use your willpower to try and break it. That was your best effort? Well, can't be helped, I suppose.
What's with the disappointment? Isn't that, like, impossible?
Have you tried using your elemental power with food? I don't mean for cooking as such. Rather, channeling your power into the ingredients themselves. I'm curious to see how the taste and texture respond. It may even help with proliferation. I suppose I have a curiosity for things that others find surprising. Anyway, why don't you cook us up a sunshine sprat? I've just finished preparing the recipe.
Cooking? Paimon was looking forward to more mad scientist stuff.
Not only is this recipe a staple for me, it's also worth experimenting with and highly nutritious.
Paimon bets you're just hungry. It does sound yummy, though. Okay, Paimon approves. Good buddies are always on the same page.
I'll leave you to it then. Looking forward to the results. If there's anything left over, maybe Timaeus can finish the last morsels.
Paimon doesn't think we'll have that problem.
An average outcome experimentally, but you've really brought out the flavor. You seem well versed in the science of gastronomy. As far as the proliferation hypothesis is concerned, we've come up short. Seems like food presents the same headaches in your world as it does ours. Unless... could it be that the natural laws of this world are limiting your unique abilities?
We just didn't know how to channel elemental power into the food. It's a little more complicated than adding herbs and spices, you know.
Not to worry. At least we put some food to good use. No need to feel disheartened. And here's your portion. Enjoy. I can box it up if you like.
Woohoo! Thanks! Glad you were paying attention.
I can tell that you're good friends. Paimon was keeping an eye on you and your safety during the whole experiment. Not that Paimon would have been able to do much if things had gone wrong. But anyway.
Hey! You just a second ago. But you do have tasty recipes, so Paimon forgives you. And you're right, we are good friends. You have good friends too, right? Good students?
Yes. I'm fortunate too, I suppose. Anyway, moving on to the next experiment. There are all manner of alchemical items here. Keeping them in their proper place is a challenge at the best of times. A while ago, I had the misfortune of misplacing a batch. I managed to retrieve the majority, but 2 vials have been evading me. Animal crystal fly elemental extract and electrohypostasis powder.
Paimon's barely finished eating and you want us to go gathering again?
Don't worry if you can't locate them. I was planning to replace them anyway. Though finding them would save me the hassle. If you had, say, a superpower, like night vision or vibratory sensing, lost property would be a thing of the past. I must have dropped them somewhere in the area where you were looking just now.
So, guess we'd better take a look. Oh yeah! You could use elemental sight!
Goodness, you managed to find them. Incredible. 1,000 thanks. I'm wondering, this elemental sight, this is what allowed you to locate the items and find me here on the mountains, correct?
Yep! Guess it does sorta count as a superpower, huh?
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is seldom seen, it is not unheard of in Teyvat. Only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would be of benefit to my research.
You mean, we failed again?
Don't be disheartened. This falls entirely within my expectations. Besides, getting these items back, I'd call this a very worthwhile experiment. I have to commend your deduction that the items would contain elemental traces. Right then. Up until now, our research has focused on your otherworldly identity. Our research on your identity as one of us is just beginning. In essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical capabilities. Let's start with physical. Looking out from where we're standing, can you see what Sucrose is doing? And if you jumped from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there, could you see her then? So what about if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burst into 1,000,000 fragments? Then could you see her? Then I shouldn't get too excited. Still, we'll gain a more thorough understanding with an experiment. I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical test. Please, follow me.
You want us to jump? From up here?
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is. Whichever method you choose, the experiment will end when you reach the opposite shore of the lake. I will factor the time expended and your top speed into my comparative analysis.
The opposite side of the lake. So, we're gonna be swimming?
Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively, using the method that seems most rational to us. Some of us would be unable to stand the icy waters. Others might find the whole thing rather refreshing. No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. For me, every detail is invaluable to the research. Then if you would, please, I eagerly await the results.
Wait a minute! While we're busy testing, what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Me? Recording data, responding to risks, providing, emotional support.
So if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
No. Unless you're thinking of conducting competitive research?
Oh! Forget Paimon said anything.
Great work. I've never seen a performance quite like it. Your reputation precedes you, traveler. The data shows that you're easily outperforming the average citizen in Mondstadt.
But you followed us the whole way without breaking a sweat!
Me? Actually, I used alchemy to cheat a little. But anyway, if it turns out that the natural laws of Tevat do not affect you, I should be able to make various inferences about the otherworldly civilization you belong to. If the natural laws of Tevat do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the kind of evolution that would occur under the absence of such effects. The innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights, it would be something to savor again and again.
But how does this help your research?
You've helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back. When we return to the campsite, I should be able to show you something interesting. I may be about to make some analogies between you and a few unusual specimens. I hope you won't be offended. Gold, petrified trees, a sun 8 times the size of our own. The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings are inevitably fleeting in nature. I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. As the unknown transitions into the realm of scientific understanding, the feeling of enlightenment is lost. All these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the prosaic mundanity of a sunsetia or a sweet flower. They cease to be noteworthy.
Oh, so that's why you wanted to sketch those hilichurls? Because you got to see something new and interesting and the differences between them?
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, these creatures are, for the most part, quite boring, not worth closer inspection. There is precious little about them that serves to pique my curiosity now.
So after all these experiments, are we gonna be, like, boring to you? Like sketches?
Of course not. You have been of great assistance to me, and I will remember this friendship for a lifetime. Now, before we head back to the campsite, there's one more experiment. Intelligence. Follow me. There are some other ruins nearby. I imagine you must have encountered more than a few conundrums during your travels. I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your capabilities, much as we did for the physical test. I'd like you to explore these ruins and return with your findings. There are 2 puzzles located at the far ends of the ruins. After completion, you should be able to activate the mechanism in the center. As with the physical test, there are no restrictions. Everything you do is an action I wish to observe. Remember that this is a test of intellect, so should you get lucky in any way, that won't be factored in as part of the test. So, let's see you in action. Start wherever you like. It should now be possible to activate the central mechanism. Exactly what will happen when you do is something I'm looking forward to finding out.
Hey! Explaining things is Paimon's job!
Oh, so Seems that the water level has suddenly decreased. We should be able to see what's in the water now. Let's have a look. What's this? To the best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. They can be found all over Teyvat, but they've never given up their secrets. There's still a lot to learn about them. And as for why they should ever have come to rest here, a true mystery. Let me make a copy first. I'll make time to go over them in greater detail after our research.
Another thing for the don't understand list. Unsolvable mystery this, weird experiment that. It'd be nice to get some cool results for once. Seems like if you want the reward, you gotta pay the price.
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Comparatively, the little reward I can offer is too small to mention. Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle for you to witness.
Paimon's kinda looking forward to seeing the result of all this brain ache. Unless you can think of anything better to do, let's head back to the campsite.
Not so fast. You're not leaving until I'm convinced that nothing dangerous is going on here.
You didn't leave the mountain?
I most certainly did not. And I've witnessed everything that you and Albedo have been up to. I must say, you let your guards down. Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling-sounding hypothesis and friendly demeanor. Taking orders from a complete stranger? Drinking anonymous potions? Participating in all kinds of strange experiments? I'd sooner believe you were tricked than that you would be so naive. Or perhaps, you were colluding from the beginning.
Listen, sister, your guard's so high you can't even see over the top of it.
It doesn't matter what you think. He could be a saint for all you know. But I understand him a little better than you, Outlander. I'm only concerned with one thing. Whether his alchemy has transformed you into something more sinister.
No way! Paimon would have sensed it. And anyway, he didn't even use any alchemy.
With an alchemist of his level, you wouldn't sense a thing. In any case, I'm not about to let a potential threat back into Mondstadt.
So, what are you gonna do?
I've gotta hand it to you. You have your moments. If I can be sure that nothing you came into contact with is dangerous, that's good enough for me. I've investigated everything else. The only items left on the agenda are these symbols.
But we don't even know what they mean.
That much is true. Not to mention, seems like there's nothing more to them. But for insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. This is now a location of interest. Regular patrols should be set up here. Now then, all things considered, I deem that you pose no immediate threat. Which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very unhappy sister if you'd made me work overtime on your account.
Overtime?
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo, and don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time. You made a lot of rash decisions today.
She's gone! So stubborn. Mondstadt doesn't have many people like that. Huh. Never mind her. Let's go see Albedo!
You're back. Good timing. I've just about reached the conclusion. You took quite a while. Did you get held up on the way back? Time for the results. We got a myriad of data today, and it was very difficult to finish all the research in one go. But the integral preliminary conclusion that I can offer you is... you're very much like a human from this world.
You couldn't tell that just by looking? We spent all day working our butts off for that?
Please, I understand that this may have seemed self-evident to you, but in fact, nothing in this world should be taken for granted. Have you ever considered that the world of Teyvat may have a natural hostility to Outlanders? I mentioned the natural laws of this world. You're able to converse with me here without consequence, and nothing seems amiss. But it's arguably a small miracle. The only other life form that, like you, has come here from afar is the seed that I mentioned. Under the effects of Teyvat's natural laws, it isn't even able to sprout, let alone bloom. But after I observed you, I had another idea. Imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy. And so...
Whoa! It looks like something's appearing!
The transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem, and now to fruition. Is not nurturing otherworldly life also nurturing the world itself?
Aww.
It would seem that that's as far as we go. A transient bloom of incomparable beauty. Life's proudest achievement.
Paimon thought, with all our efforts, it might have bloomed forever, and it didn't even have any fruit.
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. Its value shouldn't derive from how long it stays with us. Even a momentary burst is precious. A short life can be well lived. A life lived efficiently, lived to perfection, is necessarily one unburdened by loneliness. So, do you understand what I meant about us conversing here arguably being a small miracle?
Things feel a little heavy right now. Don't be sad. You've got Paimon to look after you. Albedo, Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Thank you both. Even if dispelling loneliness is not essential for life, it certainly doesn't hurt. Your help inspired me to discover the means to make a flower bloom. I mean that the time I've spent traveling with you in the mountains was a valuable journey for me. In the future, if the need arises, can I solicit your help again? Well, glad I can count on you. I made a point throughout of telling him how ordinary the results were. But what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial? It should not have been there. What could it mean? Those born of earth are bound by its imperfections, but those born of chalk are free of impurities. You and I are alike, both composed of a substance that has yet to be fully defined. If, one day, I lose control, destroy Mondstadt, destroy everything, can I rely on you to stop me?
Are you here to explore the snowy mountain too?
You scared me. Please, don't scare me like that.
But you were just standing over there.
Not at all. I was just thinking of a name for a new subspecies of sweet flower I propagated. It has seeds that are 4 times as large as normal. Oh, are you interested? Wonderful. Next time, please allow me to show you the fruits of my work. It's a shame. If I wasn't coming to this mountain, I would have brought some samples with me.
Yeah. Weren't you doing research in the city? How come you're here?
Timaeus and I were helping Albedo organize research data. Timaeus just left, in fact. You didn't run into him?
Sure didn't.
He said that he wasn't as sharp as Albedo when it came to data. By quite a long shot, in fact. The significance of some things Albedo is able to grasp almost immediately, but we, on the other hand, take considerable time. I fear that this must be the difference in our knowledge and experience showing. Timaeus seemed rather depressed about the matter. He said he was going to take a walk, so I'm currently settling the leftover affairs myself. I was originally going to take a look around myself after finishing up here, But unexpectedly, I gleaned some interesting data from these reports. But, well... guess my search for secrets will have to wait.
Secrets? Ooh, what secrets?
Actually, do you two have time right now?
Don't have anything on us but that.
Then, could I ask you for a favor? In truth, I feel like Albedo is concealing something from myself and Timaeus.
But isn't he your teacher? What would a teacher have to hide from his students?
That's true, but I feel like he's always hiding something. It is my personal guess that it is some great secret of alchemy.
Wait, how are you so sure?
Timaeus and I are both passionate researchers of alchemy. If it was anything else, Albedo wouldn't have any reason to hide it from us.
You do have a point.
Could you help me investigate what it is that Albedo's hiding? Please. I'm just too curious.
What do you think?
Yes! Thank you, thank you.
All right. Let's take a little trip, shall we? Albedo!
Why are you here? Are you lost?
No, we're not.
A secret?
Hey, what are you doing? Our mission calls for a delicate approach. Sure, but still.
Actually, you've arrived at just the right moment. I have business with you too, in fact. Here, catch.
Huh? What's this?
As you can see, it is a sword. I did not make the sword. However, I did add some alchemical touches to it. Would you like to try it out? My research indicates that this sword has some unique properties. Only you can use it. But I need to gather data from it quite urgently. So, could I bother you to use it in battle?
Wait a second. How can there be a sword that only one person can use?
Very astute of you. This sword has indeed had a curse laid upon it. An ordinary person would be unable to wield it at all. However, you are an exception.
Huh?
Or perhaps I should say that only you are immune to the curse. As such, who could I find to help me if not you? We gain little from saying more. Go find some monsters nearby. After all, some things are best discovered through practice.
Over here! It's with this brat! Give it back, you thief!
Treasure hoarders? There are treasure hoarders in a place this cold?
Enough talk! Hand it over!
Watch out!
Now that's rich! Treasure hoarders calling us thieves?
They certainly arrived quickly. Goodness, no.
They seem to have been talking about this sword. What's going on?
Why are you looking at me like that? Of course I didn't steal this sword. Not long ago, the knights caught a band of treasure hoarders outside the city. The goods they were smuggling were also impounded. This sword was one of those items. We believed it to be stolen plunder, but no one came to claim it. Nor could we find out where it came from, so it languished in our stores. I noticed it quite by chance while in our storehouse. To tell you the truth, such an old sword would see little use outside of alchemy.
You claimed it for yourself? Just like that? So, then what happened? You just took it with you?
Indeed. And I initially intended to perform some experiments on it, but I unexpectedly discovered its true origins in the process. This ancient-looking weapon once passed through the hands of a now-deceased blacksmith. It is a legendary, magical sword.
A magical sword?
It is said that the smith vanished not long after creating the weapon, with the weapon subsequently becoming lost to time. Working backwards from its eventual fate as plunder, one can guess that it was then stolen by the treasure hoarders, where it remained in obscurity till recently.
The blacksmith who made this weapon disappeared? That's kinda spooky. No wonder it's cursed.
Exactly. Do you know the story of Durin in this mountain? Durin was the black dragon who menaced Mondstadt, before finally being defeated by the combined efforts of the Valen and the Anemo Archon Barbados. After a fierce battle, the vanquished Durin crashed to ruin here, falling into the thick snow. Snow gathers atop this mountain and never melts, which is a most curious phenomenon. Which leads one to wonder, was Durin's fall here purely by chance, or was it intent?
Could it really have been intent?
Perhaps this place was chosen as a gravesite precisely so that the snow's power could seal the corrosive toxin coming from Durin's body. It seems plausible that Barbados would think of such a method.
Huh. Was Barbados such a capable god?
Well, these are just my postulations. I don't have any evidence. But what's for certain is that this mountain and Durin are deeply intertwined. In fact, I believe that the very sword in your hand has Durin's remains in it.
A dragon's remains?
Indeed. The dragon's eyes, claws, and scales ground into dust before being used to coat the blade. In this way, Durin's corruption and venom entered into the sword and became the source of its power. This is very advanced craftsmanship. I presume that having successfully forged the weapon, the smith must have tried it out themselves in their joy. But using the sword in battle would have allowed the corruption to seep through the blade's handle and into their bodies. Ordinary mortals cannot withstand such power. The blacksmith must then have fled, driven mad by the curse, before meeting their end in some unknown place. You've purified the Valen's tears before, which is a very rare ability indeed. This ability has protected you from being corrupted or poisoned, and you can completely eliminate their effects. Which is why you, and only you, can properly wield this sword.
Still, this sword really is huge. Yikes! It's glowing!
As far as I'm concerned, this is where the real experiment begins. This sword is still very weak at present. However, it is able to absorb energy, and through that, it is able to constantly become stronger. In some sense, you could even say that it is a living thing. Well then, traveler, adventure with it to your heart's content. I need you to help it grow. I believe that we will soon have all the proof that we need.
Albedo!
You're back.
We've been working hard on the sword, you know. Check it out!
Indeed. It is as I thought. This sword grows stronger as you use it in battle.
I thought that only applied to people.
And that's precisely what makes it special. Ah, yes. I should mention a more important matter first. I've investigated the area nearby, and I've discovered some unusual signs.
It's not more thieves, is it? That's true.
I believe that these strange traces require investigation. Whether it be thieves or something else, we shall investigate, and we shall find out.
Lots of human activity here, that's for sure. Looks like more than one person, too. So they have a camp here. Huh. Here to steal, just as usual.
And would be rather convenient to rob adventurers who come up here, yes.
It's survival of the fittest here on this mountain, huh? All that stealing, though, and still every last one of them still poor as dirt. Anyway, Anyone who calls us thieves gets no pity from Paimon.
Who's that? Who are these sniveling sneaks snooping around our camp?
Ah! We're busted!
The Fatui. And they chose to attack us within the treasure hoarders' camp. Did they follow us here?
But why would they do that? Did you go rile them up while we weren't looking?
Did you?
Maybe it's something we all did then.
I think the Fatui are looking for this sword.
Weren't you keeping the sword super secret? How did they know it existed?
Perhaps they caught sight of you using it on the mountain. If their eyes are any good, they'll definitely have seen how this sword stands out from the rest.
They really want everything, don't they?
Not quite, no. The Fatui are collecting things related to the Archons. This, I believe, is known to you.
Huh. Now that you mention it, we did hear Master Diluc say that.
Durin is the sworn enemy of the Animo Archon, and had power comparable to his. To say that it could rival the Archons, or was related to them, neither is an overstatement.
So that's how it is.
I made a new discovery while sketching nearby. There's an area up ahead that's quite remarkable. Its ley lines flow differently from any other. Nearby monsters have been attracted to it and have fallen under its influence. As a result, their constitutions have come to far surpass others of the same kind.
That seems convenient. Well, we're here to help this sword grow, aren't we? Might as well go try it out on those monsters.
Precisely my intention. Oh, and do remember to observe how various enemies affect the sword differently while you're at it, please.
So how did it feel?
I have a hypothesis concerning this. Each time this sword absorbs power from the bodies of fallen enemies, it will resonate with Durin's remains, hidden somewhere on this mountain.
Holy moly, that sounds amazing!
If my theory proves correct, this could mean that all the monsters here may be resonating with Durin's body. I fear this may have to do with the origin of these monsters' powers. Durin is no ordinary beast. Even though it is long dead, the entire mountain is still held in thrall by its corpse. The dragon's mysterious power may itself be a form of curse. We still don't have enough information. If we wish to understand more data is required. And this is where you come in.
Guess story times become work time.
I have some research work that needs settling, so we will have to work separately for now. Let's meet up again near the broken bridge.
Albedo, we're back! Oh, hey, does he have a guest over?
Yes, perhaps it is too soon to ask our greenhorns to come adventuring here. But adventure is nothing if it is not about pushing our limits. What is a journey without struggle, without excitement? This place may be infested with wicked hilichurl bandits and knee-deep snow, but an adventurer must never stop pressing forward!
Cyrus, to the point, please.
Come, come. The beauty of a chat lies in the journey, not the destination. Just like an adventure. Even if you are robbed blind and must give up on your encampment, you can start a fire and cook a meal in the frigid snow. This journey up the mountain will be an unforgettable one for all our newcomers.
Yes.
They may resent me, or even hate me. But in the future, they will think back upon this moment with hearts full of gratitude. For this was the day that the spirit of adventure was passed on to them.
Oh, yes. Go on.
Oh, brother, Albedo's at it again. He's always so cold when the topic doesn't catch his fancy. He sure is interested in you, though.
Still, should we say that our newcomers are too green, or that the mountain is too mighty? We have taken great losses this time.
What? What do you mean, great losses?
Oh, you must be.
Long time no see!
Ah, yes, the young adventurer and his companion. It is my pleasure to see you here. I trust these frigid descents have not given you too much trouble?
Ha! We can take anything it has to throw at us.
Ha ha ha! Good, good. I love your confidence. But you must be here on some important duty, braving the wind and snow like this.
I came here to gather the latest data on Hilichurls, and asked him to serve as my assistant.
Ah, I see. A gathering of people chasing their dreams and ideals, is it? Then I wish you all the best. Farewell for now. I must go see to our new recruits.
Looks like we've made a discovery. Well, it is a magical sword after all. It's understandable that he doesn't want other people to know about it.
I am listening, you know. There is no should or shouldn't here. I can answer your questions, but not right now. Right now, I have more pressing matters on hand.
Pressing matters? Let Paimon guess. We've got a part to play in it too, huh?
You're getting smarter, Paimon.
Hey! Paimon will have you know that she's always been smart.
I have discovered some new habitats nearby with different monster types. I believe they will provide us with similarly varied data. Perseverance is key to research, and persistence is the basis of the alchemist's art. So, are you ready? Then let us go. It seems that no one is here.
Do monsters go out to run errands too?
Well then, would you like to take a look around before they return? Or shall we rest a while here? Alright. What would you like to ask?
So we're having a chat now? Paimon wants in!
I know you must have questions, whether it be about me or about this entire situation. As I said before, I will answer them, but I will not deceive you. There are some things I cannot go into detail on. On these matters, you'll have to permit me to summarize a bit.
Huh. Guess Albedo can be pretty straightforward when he wants to be. Uh-huh. What?
Do you really think that's possible? That's not good. That was my sketchbook.
Paimon thinks it's just your run-of-the-mill thief, really.
To think that it dared to steal my sketchbook. Quite bold, this one.
Looks like Albedo's got a frosty temper. Looks like it's a dead end. You know, except for this huge cavern entrance.
Judging from the tracks, that seems to be the case.
Then what are we waiting for? We can't let it escape.
Wait. This mountain is incredibly large. Even if there was a path within its bowels, such a road would not be easy to walk. Can you feel it? The wind carries the scent of ice and stone with it. And the sound of echoes. The space within must be massive.
Really?
As such, rash moves are of no benefit to us.
But we've come all this way! We can't just let it leave!
It is, but that doesn't mean that we should act recklessly. There is another way. It just requires some extra work. If my guess is correct, this cavern's exit is on the other side of the mountain. You are quite the expert glider, and I am a fair hand myself. So, prepare yourself, and we'll glide across in one go.
Albedo, how's the sketchbook situation?
It's alright. A few pages were destroyed, but most of it is intact. The temperature in the snowy mountain is sub-zero. It can reach extremely low temperatures, especially near that cavern. What makes matters worse is that the hilly churls have drooled all over the pages. To leave wet paper in such low temperatures, it's too dreadful to imagine.
Frozen paper is so brittle. It doesn't take much for it to fall apart, huh? No wonder you're an alchemist. Such an ingenious mind. If the sketchbook had been severely damaged, you'd be furious, wouldn't you?
What leads you to believe that?
You told us there's a lot of drawings and notes inside.
I must admit, I bring the sketchbook everywhere I go. However, I wouldn't fly into a rage over such a thing. Had I not been able to salvage it, I would just draw everything again.
Huh. How pragmatic of you.
Is that so?
That's right. Yep. Absolutely. All well said. You took the words out of Paimon's mouth.
You're right. Redrawing everything would be a tedious endeavor.
Especially since you're so talented, right? You've mastered so many skills and gathered so much knowledge that other people can only dream of. But such talented people sometimes forget about that. It's one of the downsides of being smart, isn't it?
Without a doubt, Paimon is an interesting creature.
Aw, don't put Paimon on the spot when it comes to wisdom.
Changing the subject, Cyrus told me that the hilly churls from this mountain attack and rob adventurers. The place we visited should be one of their camps.
Yeah, the hilly churls here are way stronger than the ones at the bottom of the mountain.
I can't disagree. I assume this must be related to the dragon. The corruptive power emanating from Durin's remains is making the monsters stronger, which, in tandem with the frigid climate, depopulated some mountain areas. Can you take out the sword, traveler? Each time you fought in the mountains, this sword was absorbing power and storing it within itself. Moreover, thanks to your purification, the corruptive power of the dragon's blood seems to be all gone now. It's a very interesting phenomenon.
It's not the first time we've done something like that. We're experts.
I always wondered what purification was capable of. I knew you were capable of doing it, but seeing it with my own eyes is a unique experience. Indeed, I can't say it's the safest of weapons.
Lucky that it wasn't snatched away by those hilly churls. Otherwise, we'd be done for. Hilly churls are a threat too. What if that power could turn them into ultra hilly churls? Ultra demon hilly churls. Snowman? Now you've ruined the game. Anyway, about the sword. If it's so powerful, can't it absorb your energy as well, Albedo?
Would you like to try it out?
Yikes! Such a cold gaze!
It's fine. After all, I still hope you'll continue to use this sword.
You still still trust us? Even though this sword is so dangerous? Well, that was unexpected. Albedo, you say one thing but do another. Paimon can never tell what's really on your mind.
I have no idea what you're talking about. But if you want to know why I trust you, it might be because the unusual ones like us share a certain degree of understanding. Lonely individuals. Those who aren't like ordinary people. Just like, you and me.
Albedo, we're back! Huh? It seems that he's not here. Is he out investigating something? Or maybe he went to make some mysterious drawings.
Ah, it's you.
Oh, if it isn't Sucrose, what are you doing here?
I'm in the final stage of my research. I have 5 hours and 26 minutes of leisure time today. So, I came here looking for you to inquire about previously discussed matters.
You tell time very accurately. Are you a human clock?
No, it's nothing worth your praise. You're too kind.
That wasn't a compliment.
Can I ask you a question, Traveler? I made a request regarding investigating Mr. Albedo's secret. Have you made any progress?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been over a week since we talked about it.
What? Over a week? I clearly... I've been so absorbed in my research, that matter of ours had completely slipped my mind.
How can your sense of time be so strong and so weak at the same time?
So, do you know what it is? That's great. Could you tell me?
Telling her shouldn't really matter. She can take a look too. Just no touching.
Wait, what are you talking about? What's this?
It's a super powerful sword. Don't touch it with your bare hands.
This is... This is... I've never seen...
Look all you want. Not sure why, but even Paimon feels a strange sense of achievement.
Astounding! It's the first time I've heard of such a mysterious weapon. I can faintly feel the power coursing through the sword. It's like a living creature.
Is it such a distinct feeling?
This may be due to my alchemist training. I don't dare to say anything for sure, but the flow of power is very noticeable. Although this description isn't the most precise. Normally I wouldn't define things like that. Please believe me, I don't usually use such ambiguous terms.
Okay, we got it.
Traveler, could you use this sword in battle? I'd like to learn more about it, but I'm unable to use it myself. I can only ask for your assistance.
Let's look around for the right spot.
Remarkable. This weapon is like no other. You're also extraordinary. No matter if it's your fighting stance or the momentum of your swing, it's perfect. This sword is special. I didn't want to go too deep into the research, and yet I couldn't take my eyes off of it.
Well, Paimon thinks that's one of your own special qualities, not the sword's.
Clearly this is a mysterious yet dangerous and enticing sword. Mr. Albedo must have great confidence in you to have entrusted you with such an important item.
Well, you've earned his trust with your abilities.
I agree with Paimon. However, the sword hadn't absorbed much energy before it was handed to you. How did Mr. Albedo recognize its uniqueness among a pile of other items in storage?
A flash of brilliance often doesn't make sense. For example, Paimon's appetite for sticky honey roast.
Which reminds me, I didn't eat much today. I went looking for you right after completing my experiment. Then, on the way, I ran into an adventurer trapped in the snow. I spent quite some time saving him. like that.
Don't be so shy. Just say what's on your mind. Let Paimon help you out. Paimon's hungry. We should grab something to eat.
I'm hungry. I could really go for a... Oh. I'm just a little embarrassed.
Nothing to be ashamed of. Admitting that you're hungry makes the food taste better.
Huh? Is that so?
Of course! Let's get moving. There must be some food back at the camp. It'd be lovely to have some sticky honey roast to keep us warm in this icy weather.
Mr. Pallid, you still haven't gone back?
Isn't that the hot-headed adventurer from Mondstadt? Did he come here with Cyrus to explore the snowy mountain too?
I'm freezing.
Have you been here since I rescued you from the snow pit?
I wanted to leave, but I got lost. I'm sorry. It's so cold that I can't move.
Mr. Pallid, a trip to this mountain requires solid preparation. You shouldn't have treated it so lightly. I'd appreciate the assistance. I'm afraid that, in his current state, he won't be able to walk on his own.
Even if we can't, we won't just leave him here, right?
You're right. My apologies, Traveler. I'm sure he feels bad about the situation.
He's the least of your concerns right now. You should be worried about yourself.
The Fatui strike again!
You must have already figured out why we're here. We won't let you go unless you give us that sword.
No! Please don't give them the sword!
That's the spirit! Let's knock him down!
Mr. Pallid, I'll take you to a safe place, quickly!
So naive. We won't let any witness escape. This sword will make a fine gift for Her Excellency, Harbinger Signora!
I heard the ruckus and came over to check. So it was you who made all this noise. What happened? Did you get into a fight?
Mr. Albedo, I didn't mean to.
Aren't you supposed to be organizing documents? Why did you come here all of a sudden? And you got into a fight with such a dangerous opponent in this terrain.
Well, now even Paimon feels guilty.
I'm sorry. I was just passing by.
Huh. I reckon you've been led astray by yet another thing that attracted your attention. You told her everything?
We just told her about the sword's properties and origin. We didn't let her touch it. We know better than that.
Never mind. We couldn't have kept her in the dark for too long anyway. Sucrose is naturally drawn to obscure knowledge and mystery. She is great alchemist material indeed.
I promise I won't be causing trouble anymore. I swear on the quadruple-sized sweet flower seed I just propagated.
It's not trouble that worries me. I'm only concerned with your safety. You must be more careful next time. Anyway, what's going on with that adventurer crouching over there?
I took it upon myself to protect Mr. Pallid during the battle. He should be all right.
I'm freezing.
He must have caught a cold during the fight.
I didn't consider that possibility. It's my oversight, my apologies. Mr. Albedo, I'll check on him.
Sure.
Sucrose may seem a bit rigid, but she's a good kid with a heart of gold. Can't disagree.
That girl. Let her out of your sight, and she winds up in the strangest places. True. Don't worry, I'm not angry.
Huh. There seems to be a shiny thingy on the sword.
Another change. The sword's power is much stronger than before. How did that happen?
There were some ferocious characters among those Fatui soldiers. We've never seen them before.
So it's the energy it's never encountered before. It caused the sword to greatly grow in strength.
So cold.
Hold on just a little longer.
Fire? Fire! Warmth! Wait! Watch out!
That Regis-Vine was brought back to life.
What is it? Into position. Prepare for battle.
The dragon's power. The dragon's life force can revive withered plants and empower them to such a degree. Inconceivable.
How could a dead tree stem turn out to be such a monster? Paimon almost got swallowed. Anyway, why hasn't anything like that happened before?
Most probably it's because the sword fell to the ground. The impact must have caused its power to leak out.
It's my fault. Don't make me leave, I beg you. I promise I'll stay put.
Mr. Pallid, there's no need to go into a fetal position.
This cryo-Regis-Vine, having originally withered up and died here, is it because it hadn't been able to absorb the ambient corruption? After you purified the corruption, the resulting pure elemental energy not only revived it, but also enhanced it. Pure life force will cause it to constantly regenerate itself, together with its fighting spirit. I also haven't encountered any similar incidents. Yet, I must admit that a phenomenon of this rarity, although unexpected, is a valuable discovery. Sucrose.
Yes?
Keep an eye on that adventurer. Take him back to the camp.
Yes, sir.
As for the matters at hand, I beg your pardon, traveler, but I must ask for your further assistance.
Such an unexpected mess, and we're the only ones who can clean it up. It must be because we keep outdoing ourselves.